Hey there to everyone who wants to travel. Today, we're going to talk about an important topic for travelers, the Onward Ticket. What is it? Why do you need one? And are those $14 websites really trustworthy or not? We're going to look at all of that together. In this video, as well as my favorite website, which will be linked in the description for getting tickets at 14s, I'll share my personal experience so I can give you advice on whether it's good or not. So, what exactly is an Onward Ticket? Basically, it's a ticket that proves you intend to leave the country. Actually, when you apply for a visa or similar, countries want to make sure that once you arrive, well, basically, you have to prove that you're not staying indefinitely, that you won't be staying for a year. And they want a ticket, a bus ticket, a plane ticket, a boat ticket, to show that in 2 months, you're leaving the country this way, with this airline, in this manner. That's really what it's for. And so that you don't stay in the country indefinitely, because they don't want you to stay in the country indefinitely. So then, why is this important? Because actually, many countries and airlines, if you don't have that ticket, they'll actually refuse you. That means when you get to the airline counter, they'll ask you for your passport, your plane ticket, and your return ticket. And if you don't have it, they'll say, sorry, you can't board. So either you buy a ticket right then over the phone, etc. You end up paying full price, or, well, in that case, you don't board and you miss your trip. That's why it's really important to have that plane ticket with a return date. And that's why there are services that offer this for $14. There are several ways to get an award ticket. The usual methods involve booking a ticket for several months ahead, etc. That is refundable. The problem is you might have to pay for a ticket, several hundred or even thousands of euros, which will then need to be refunded to you. I did that with Qatar Airways in 2022 to go to Thailand and come back, and I got the refund I think 9 months later. So regarding the refund, I didn't get any refund for 6 months. I had made the request, I didn't get it, so I contacted support, etc. And I think I had to spend maybe 5 to 6 hours with Qatar Airways. That's why I left a bad review on Trustpilot. I was spammed for maybe 2 weeks and I got the refund 3 months after that. It took me about 9 months to get a refund of around 750 euro. I asked for some compensation, etc. They didn't want to hear about it, etc. But there you go. As for refunds, unfortunately, I don't recommend them because it didn't work, at least not with Qatar Airways. For me, it was a nightmare, so that's that. So you either go for a refund or you take a bus ticket, etc. Which isn't very expensive. But often they don't get fooled, etc. Or I use the Onward Ticket websites for $14. The link is in the description for those who are interested. That's what I use and it has always worked. I'll tell you exactly how to use them properly because there are some tricks to using Onward Tickets. When should you request them? So it's going to be at check-in at the airport, so when you're about to board your flight, and also at immigration upon arrival, meaning that when you get to immigration, they'll ask, okay, your return ticket, etc. So at that point, either you print it out or you show it from an email. They're not very strict, they just want to check if you actually have it or not. If you don't have it, that's a problem, but if you do, etc., often they won't really check in a suspicious way, like, that's odd, and so on. So you could make a fake one, but I don't recommend making fake ones. It's better to just get a real one. For $14, it's really not expensive, and that way you can be sure you actually have one. The countries that always ask for it are the ones where a lot of people end up staying indefinitely, because honestly, they're nice places, people feel good there, and so on. They want to stay as long as possible, and those are the ones who will end up asking for it the most often. Those tickets, because that's where you most want to stay. So, as I mentioned, there are websites that offer temporary tickets valid for 24 to 48 hours. It costs $14. I'll put my favorite one, the one I always use, in the description and in the comment. The site I'm recommending offers 48-hour tickets. So you just get it right before your flight or the night before if your flight is the next day. That way it lasts 48 hours. By the time you arrive at immigration, you can show your ticket and there won't be any problem. These are real tickets. In fact, it really works with actual airlines. These are real tickets that actually exist, so when they check, it will work. It's just that actually they cancel them afterwards, etc. They cancel them automatically and it works. Legally speaking, it's a bit of a gray area. That is, most travelers use these kinds of techniques. Honestly, everyone uses it. There's always a tiny bit of risk. But clearly, it's better than making a fake ticket. Honestly, you have legal risks with those kinds of issues. With these tickets, it's a real ticket, so you can use it. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you've had any problems with this, but personally, I've never had any issues. Everyone I know who uses this kind of ticket has never had any problems. But if anyone has had issues, feel free to read the comments. But personally, I've never had any problems. I use them all the time, and it works. Plus, it only costs $14. The only risk there might be is if the ticket actually gets refused. Well, the only thing you'll have to do is urgently buy a refundable ticket, etc. And that really happens very rarely. So if you're maybe just going one way, let's say without a return, maybe it could happen. Once, it's really maybe 1%, and honestly, I don't even think it's that much. Clearly, I don't think so. I've never heard of any issues with Get On Our Tickets when you use a reliable site. There are some sites that might not be trustworthy, etc. The site I use, I know the person who created it, and it works well. I've never had any problems, and I keep using it. I think I'm maybe on my 6th or 7th use right now as I'm recording this video. But there you go. If you're really worried, you can get a refundable ticket, but if you run into issues like I did, well, it's several hundred euros. For me, $750 was tied up for 9 months. So for 14s, I would have preferred to pay 14s and have the 750 on the side. That would have been much better. And also, sometimes the refund isn't 100%. there are conditions. It can be a bit more of a hassle. So in conclusion, I use Get On Your Ticket. You can check the description if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And I'll see you in the next video. See you, everyone.